What's the deal? MFK relaunching all of their discontinued fragrances over again? Did you hear that my favorite fragrance from MFK Maison Kurkdjian called Absolue pour le Soir is now getting the relaunch. It's currently on pre-order over at Selfridges where it's exclusively selling, and I'm so excited for the relaunch of this, but I'm a bit cautious because we've already received a couple of relaunches of past releases. For example, Ciel de Gum, which is now REFLETS d'Ambre, and of course APLM. Right here, this is the newest APLM, right there, and this is the APLM pour Homme, which are similar but not identical. But I'm going to talk to you about Absolue pour le Soir today, let you know what it's all about, and then also they are relaunching another fragrance called Absolue pour le Matin, which I know nothing about. I sampled it in the past, but I never owned it. Find out about these fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We are talking about the relaunch of Maison Kurkdjian's fragrance Absolue pour le Soir, which is my all-time favorite fragrance from this house. I absolutely love it. It was a musky, slightly animalic, honeyed amber fragrance that's to die for gorgeous. It got discontinued around 2020 at the height of the pandemic. Somewhere around there, I think. This is all I have left of the original, but it is now coming back. I have already pre-ordered. As soon as it dropped, I pre-ordered from Selfridges. I paid the extra shipping. It should deliver somewhere around the 6th of November is what it said. So it's going to take some time. They are taking orders. If you're a fan of Absolue pour le Soir, I think you should definitely check it out. Initially launched in 2009, I believe this is one of the original fragrances from this house. I discovered it around 2012, 2013. Instant love. Instant love. And it's selling at Selfridges 70 ml, which is this size, for $270. Again, it's a Selfridges exclusive. It's pre-order. If you do the yearly shipping fee, you get shipped for free, or you pay a one-time shipping fee for around $35, I believe. So what's the deal with Absolue pour le Soir? It features notes of cumin, rose honey accord, Ciste-Labdanum, and vanilla amber accord. These are the new notes that are posted on Selfridges. They sound similar to the notes I remember from the original fragrance. So I think this is a very polarizing fragrance. For a while it was selling at Neiman Marcus, where Maison Kurkdjian was exclusively selling the fragrances. Later it was not selling there anymore. It became a boutique exclusive. You can buy it in France at their boutique, or maybe some stores had it. I didn't know the technicalities of that. Then it got discontinued because you have to be into the idea of this kind of a fragrance, which has animalic touches, musky touches, spicy touches with that cumin. So it's a bit sweaty. It's got a sweaty funk type situation going on with it. But on my skin, it is to die for gorgeous. It's definitely one of the best amber fragrances out there. I feel like this also graduated to become Grand Soir. Remember, it was called Absolue pour le Soir. Then Grand Soir launched in 2016, which became, well, I'm not sure if it was a reformulation. They just launched something similar, stripping away all the animalic and musky, funky touches and making it a more bright amber fragrance that can be universally appreciated by everyone. But for me, even though I enjoyed Grand Soir, Absolue pour le Soir was the best. I like the animalics here. It's enough to wear. It's tolerable. And on my skin, it shined. I did compare this to fragrances like Mita from Dior and also a little bit of Serge Lutens Ambre Sultan. But this is in a class on its own. This one's the most muskiest and also the most with the cumin note. I think Mita might have had a bit of cumin in it, but this came off more cumin-y on me. But it's a super fantastic fragrance. I'm super excited for the relaunch of this. I kind of knew that this was going to come. In the back of my mind, I heard from some folks, I heard some chatter that they are relaunching fragrances. Does that mean they're also going to launch Lumiere Noir pour Homme, or maybe the Parfum? And of course, one of my favorite ouds from the house, Cashmere Mood. Oud Cashmere Mood. I don't know, but this is the third relaunch now. We had Reflets d'Ambre, which is a Harrods exclusive for the Harrods anniversary. And of course, we had the APLM brought back. And then now we have Absolue Pour le Soir. Let me know if you've been a fan of Absolue Pour le Soir, if you've enjoyed it, if you have a bottle. I know some folks tried to sell me some bottles, but it was just too expensive. I couldn't really, I mean, I have half a bottle and I'm cherishing this bottle, but some folks came forward and asked me if I wanted to buy their bottle, and I was being asked really expensive prices, and I was like, you know what, I already have this, I'm gonna pass on it, not knowing at the time that it was going to relaunch. But later, late last year, I heard some chatter from somewhere, and I heard some things were coming back. In fact, I've actually heard that this might be coming back, Oud Cashmere Mood. I don't know how true that is, but who knows, maybe it's coming back. But they're doing these kind of exclusive things with these fragrances, and it kind of makes sense. These big department stores in the UK want these exclusive fragrances. You know, Reflets d'Ambre, which is the remake of Ciste-Labdanum, is exclusive there. And again, I don't know if this is permanent exclusivity. It might be launched everywhere later, but that's what's going on with Absolue Pour le Soir. It's an exclusive to Selfridges. The other thing is APLM, the 2024 APLM, when that launched, it was exclusive at Neiman Marcus for like a month, I think. So is that what's going to happen with Absolue Pour le Soir 2024? For a month it's exclusive, and they're doing the pre-sale there, and then it's going to get rolled out everywhere else. Are people really interested in this fragrance to be brought back? I should do it this way. Again, put a comment down. Let me know if you're a fan of Absolue Pour le Soir and you've been missing it, you didn't have a bottle, and if you're waiting for it, and if you don't care for it because it's too animalic and musky and funky, you're going to skip this one. Last thing before I move on to Absolue Pour le Matin, which I'm not too familiar with. The differences between the original Ciste-Labdanum and also the remake are night and day. Ciste-Labdanum and Reflets d'Ambre, they have similarities, and I feel like even now that the fragrance has matured in the box for a good 5 months, it has a little more heft from when I first reviewed it, but still there's differences between the original Ciste-Labdanum and now Reflets d'Ambre. So the Ciste-Labdanum that I have here, as you can see, the juice is so dark. This is a pre-LVMH bottle. This was purchased around 2015. I have a note in my box. I looked it up with the codes. May 21, 2015 is when this particular bottle was bottled. So it's almost 10 years old. As you can see, the sticker on the bottom is also something that they don't use anymore. They're a little different. So it's a very hefty version of Ciste-Labdanum. Ciste-Labdanum, if you're not familiar with it, it's a jasmine amber fragrance. Fantastic fragrance, guys. So warm and spicy. Reminds me of Red Hots. It has a lot of pink pepper in it, so it really amplifies that kind of almost like cinnamon spicy effect. With the Reflets d'Ambre, unfortunately, it's not as robust and beefy, but if you've been missing Ciste-Labdanum and you can't find it, I think Reflets d'Ambre might satisfy. And let me know if you've sampled Reflets d'Ambre. Have you gotten a bottle of it? What do you think about it if you compare it to the original Ciste-Labdanum? One other thing I should say about Ciste-Labdanum, after it launched with LVMH and they were making bottles when the brand became LVMH, the juice color also changed. It was closer to this versus that kind of red, deep red color, but a little darker than this, but still closer to this than that red deep color. So it did change. The smell was pretty much kept the same though, but now with the Reflets d'Ambre compared to Ciste-Labdanum, the smell is a bit different. You'll be reminded of it, but they do have some changes in the smell. So now on to Absolue Pour le Matin, a fragrance I'm pretty unfamiliar with. So when I first sampled it, probably going back 12 years ago when I first discovered the brand at Neiman Marcus, I might have just skipped it because it was a citrusy powdery fragrance. I'm curious to get my nose on it now. I've already pre-ordered it with Absolue Pour Le Soir, the 2024 version, and I'm waiting for it. Again, it won't arrive here until around November 6th, just a few days after I get back from my big trip to Dubai, and I will report on it, do a video again. This is just an anticipation video, and also maybe a video to look forward to a few other re-releases of Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances. Who knows? Will they come too? I don't know. We shall see. But Maison Francis Kurkdjian Absolue Pour Le Matin originally launched in 2010, unlike Absolue Pour Le Soir, launched in 2009, and then now we've got the 2024 version. I would call it an aromatic citrus fragrance. Same price as Absolue Pour Le Soir 2024, 70 ml for $270. And again, it's a Selfridges exclusive, and you can do a pre-order on it. The notes breakdown: lemons, thyme, orange blossom accord, violet accord, powdery wood accord. So the notes do seem like they're similar to the previous version, the 2010 version, but that's all I can say about this. I don't know much about it, sadly. I never owned a bottle. I don't know when it got discontinued. I'm glad they're bringing it back, and let's see what they do with it. I have a feeling they're going to have some changes with these fragrances. They're going to maybe make them a bit more mass appealing, but Absolue Pour Le Matin seems like it's a very safe fragrance. Violet, powdery, citrus fragrance. So I don't think that's a challenging fragrance, whereas the Absolue Pour Le Soir, I can see that they want to make it a bit more accessible for people if they are put off by, you know, musky, sweaty, cumin, spicy, animalic fragrances. So looking forward to those two fragrances. If you are looking forward to them, do let me know. And has anybody heard any chatter about any other Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances coming back? Again, Lumiere Noir Pour Homme, I'm hoping it will come back. It was the very first fragrance I bought from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This I bought in 2012, actually, when I first got to sample Absolue Pour Le Soir. I enjoyed what I smelled, but I felt like it was a bit too daring, and I went with Lumiere Noir Pour Homme, which was a patchouli rose combo fresh. I still have this much left. I don't have a full bottle of it. But I don't know, maybe this will come back too, but they do have two versions of this. They have the Pour Femme and the Pour Homme. Will they do what they did with APLM? So APLM, I have the APLM Pour Homme. I've never owned the APLM Pour Femme. So what they did was pretty much combine Pour Homme and Pour Femme in the APLM and made one unisex offering, which kind of makes sense that they would do that. But in the past, I guess Maison Francis Kurkdjian was separating, making gendered fragrances. What do you guys think of APLM? Do you guys think that it's kind of a fusion of the original APLM Pour Femme with APLM Pour Homme? I feel like I get touches of both. It reminds me of the Pour Homme for sure. I didn't have too much experience with the Pour Femme, but I had sampled it, and I found similarities to Pour Homme, APLM Pour Homme. With the current version of APLM, straight APLM, I felt like it has a little funk on my skin, and I feel like it's coming from the floral notes, the white floral notes. It might have or feature a bit of indols or indolic touches. So on the skin, it has a bit of funk, but not overwhelming because it's also quite soapy. So it kind of washes out that funk. But when you focus on that, the funk and the animalic qualities of the white floral, the indolic qualities, I should say, indolic touches, you'll notice some funk there. But overall, it's a clean floral, tropical a little bit with the ylang ylang, but musky and soapy. Really wonderful. I feel like this one's pretty nicely done. It could be a bit more hefty, a bit more intense. It's a bit wimpy, but overall, I feel like it's a solid release and definitely a great offering from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I'm glad they brought that back. I'm glad they're bringing back Absolue Pour Le Soir. We shall see what they do with it. And I'm glad they're bringing back Absolue Pour Le Matin. I'd like to rediscover it. It's been a long time since I put my nose on it. Now we can only hope Lumiere Noir Pour Homme and Oud Cashmere Mood comes back as well, because I love those two fragrances. I actually not as much into the Lumiere Noir Pour Homme as much as the Oud Cashmere Mood. But still, as a freshie with the rose and the patchouli, of the Lumiere Noir Pour Homme, I like it. I can wear that very liberally. But with the Oud Cashmere Mood, such a fantastic, buttery, velvety, smooth oud fragrance that's to die for. Gorgeous. This is a fantastic fragrance. Now I have a full bottle here, but let's see if they decide to bring this one back. But if you guys have any scoop on any of these relaunches from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, do let me know. Put a comment down below. Let me know if you're excited for Absolue pour le Soir. Let me know if you're excited for Absolue pour le Matin. Let me know if you've got your nose out REFLETS the AMBRE. And also, a pomme. Let me know. Anyway, and once I get the fragrances, the actual fragrances from Selfridges, I will do another video on here and let you know all about the two fragrances. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.